Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another breakfast with Blaha. And today I'm having fat-free Greek yogurt, almond butter, and frozen cherries. I saw a question come through my comments the other day, and I can probably use this as a segue into a larger topic. And it created quite a discussion down in the comments with multiple people answering it in the conversation. And the person said, Jason, you put up some novice strength standards, whatever, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that. Who knows at this point? And is it reasonable for a person who's 5'9", 145 pounds to reach these? Now, everyone who's been training a while who knows how this works, who watches my channel, is probably laughing. This is as silly of a question as people when they look at those strength standard charts and they're a novice and they look at their body weight and go, well, this is my body weight, so to get to advanced or elite or whatever on the chart, this is what I need my lift to get to. And it's like, are you really fat right now? Because if you're not really fat right now, how are you going to be an advanced lifter at the same body weight you are as a novice? How are you going to do that? Because you're going to have to gain 20 or 25 pounds of muscle. How are you going to gain 20 to 25 pounds of muscle weight and stay at the same body weight? Unless you have 25 pounds of extra body fat to lose, to trim off, to go with that muscle gain. How are you going to get there? Because what is it that I always say? Size equals strength potential. I don't say it equals strength, because it clearly doesn't, but it does equal the potential for strength. This is understood. Well documented in the scientific literature, and we have weight classes for a reason in sports. Really high classes in disguise. It's kind of important the fact this person gave a height. They basically described an emaciated, skinny person. But another way to word the strength potential is hypertrophy raises our strength ceiling. And there is an enormous correlation relative to your frame size. And again, there are statistical outliers. I'm aware of that. I'm aware that John Hackett is a statistical outlier. He doesn't have to follow the same rules. This is what happens when freak genetics come into the mix that 99.99% of people do not possess. Right? That's why these are outliers in the statistics, statistical anomalies. But to get stronger, you're going to have to get bigger. Okay? And to get bigger, you're going to have to gain muscle mass. Well, that's a change in the scale weight. Unless you have body fat to displace it, and even then you're still going to have to gain weight because you're not going to recomposition 25 pounds. Like, let's say you're starting as a knob and you're a chunky 190 at average height, right? You're not going to recomposition 25 pounds at 190. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to do some bulks and cuts to get that 25 pounds of muscle. And you're probably going to have to do a lot of them. People say, well, I'm going to bulk and cut twice. No, you're going to bulk and cut 30 times over the next 20 years. That's what you're going to have to do. And that's a more extreme example. It might be less bulks and cuts, less years, especially for a taller person. But you are going to do numerous bulks and cuts to pull this off. Or you could do one big 10-year-long bulk and then cut, I suppose. So people don't want to bulk for 10 years straight. You tend to get a little fat when you do that. But that could work. But either way, you're going to have to gain some weight. You will have to do some bulking at some point. You're not going to just recomposition 25 pounds at the same weight. Okay. You have to gain muscle to gain significant strength outside of some early neural adaptations. So if a person is 5'9" at 145, which is underweight, they're skinny, why would you expect them to reach any real strength level? They're just a skinny guy. If size equals our strength potential, or size, some people call it size equals strength, or hypertrophy gives us the potential for 90% of our strength potential comes from our hypertrophy relative to our personal levers. How is a skinny guy with no muscle going to gain large amounts of strength? He's not. And until he gains weight, he's not going to. So this person will probably never reach those numbers. I've got a client right now who's a skinny hard gainer with pretty similar stats to that. He can't bench anywhere near 200 pounds. Now, he's not even close. He can't squat anywhere near 300 or 315, 3 plates. He can't even squat 2 plates. 4 plates on the deadlift, he's not even to 2 plates yet. Deadlift's less than that. Because the guy is 5'10" at 145. And he doesn't look like a lifter at all. He's just skinny. So why would you expect this person to reach this level? They're not eating. And it's kind of like it's when people always ask that question, and I've said this before, if you need to put qualifiers, you aren't strong. Is a whatever squat, bench, or deadlift, is X weight strong for, and they'll insert, a 16-year-old. For someone who weighs 150 pounds. For someone who's 42 years old. Right? There's always this qualifier. So if you need to ask if it's strong, then you know it's not strong and you're looking for a cop-out. If it's the body weight one, if someone says, is this strong for someone who weighs 150? It's not strong. And the reason they weigh 150, same reason this guy in this scenario is 145. They refused to do what they had to do to get stronger and bigger. They refused to eat enough calories. They made an active choice to not put the food in their mouth day after day to get there. And these questions are trying to validate their inability to follow through with what they needed to do. Okay? Because it is a failure to comply. You know, asking that is as bad as, hey, is this strong for someone who works out once a month? In other words, someone who's non-compliant, completely non-compliant with their training. Well, completely non-compliant with your eating, pretty similar. You're not going to get strong without eating because you're not going to gain muscle without eating. I understand there are a few very lean exceptions with good leverages. They exist. But this rule holds largely true. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.